wanted in a Lexington murder case, is now in custody. Jacolby Williams is accused of shooting 18-year-old Demetrius Hampton.
Williams was found and arrested in Arizona. New tonight, WKYT's Jeremy Toms has talked with Bluegrass Crime Stoppers, who says the case shows how important tips can be in helping them solve crimes.
On September 23rd, police responded to the 800 block of South Broadway, where they found 18-year-old Demetrius Hampton shot and killed. The very next day, they secured a warrant for his murder.
I would imagine that the Real-Time Intelligence Center, surveillance cameras in the area, as well as any witnesses that may have been at the scene, probably played a big role in the investigation. With
the shooting occurring in a busy area near businesses and student housing, police quickly named Jacolby Williams, saying he was armed and dangerous.
In the weeks following the shooting, Bluegrass Crime Stoppers say they received a tip. It suggested that Williams had not just left Lexington, but he was more than a day's worth of driving away, some 1,800 miles from here in Maricopa County, Arizona.
I don't know if there's ties there as far as family, friends, if that was a previous place that the suspect had lived. Nothing that I'm aware of.
No apparent connection to Arizona, yet this tip turned out to be the piece that solved the puzzle.
It's a month today, and detectives were able to not only identify but go ahead and make an arrest. Hopefully bringing some closure to the family. It's huge.
Tempe Police, Maricopa County Sheriffs, and U.S. Marshals all assisted in making the arrest on October 19th. And Klingshirn says this tipster is an example of how the community can help to solve cases and curb crime.
It's wonderful to see people taking an active interest in making their own community safer, because that's what it is.
In Lexington, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
And police say that Williams is in a Maricopa County jail awaiting extradition to Kentucky. He is charged with murder and possessing a gun as a convicted felon here in Fayette County. They do not know what charges Williams may be facing in Arizona, if any.